Here's Dakota Livesay with another story from the archives of Chronicle of the Old West.
The subject of this story never wanted to be a cattleman, but from the Old West to today, his name is associated with the cattle industry. Even people who don't have cattle use his name from time to time.
In 1835, Samuel A. Maverick moved to the San Antonio, Texas area and started practicing law. He was even one of the signers of the Texas Declaration of Independence. As the story goes, a neighbor owed him $1,200. With no ready cash, the neighbor offered to pay him in cattle. So reluctantly, on June 11, 1844, Samuel agreed to take 400 head of cattle. Not wanting to deal with the cattle, Samuel hired someone to take care of them. At first, the hired hand branded the calves with Samuel's MK brand. But soon things got out of hand and many of the calves went unbranded. By 1854, Samuel's unbranded cattle were roaming all over the area, and his neighbors started complaining, stating that if Samuel didn't do something about them, he wouldn't have any. Finally, in 1856, Samuel sold his cattle to another rancher. The cattle were sold on the basis of range delivery. This meant that the rancher bought an approximate number of cattle that happened to be located on open range. Whenever the new owner found an unbranded cow, he claimed them as Samuel Maverick's cattle or Mavericks. By 1857, people in the area were referring to unbranded cattle as Mavericks. But the term didn't come into general use until after the Civil War, when the cattlemen returned to find tens of thousands of unbranded cattle roaming the plains.
It's interesting to note that taking a branded cow was a hanging offense in the Old West, but to take an unbranded cow or a maverick was no problem. And that's how many a ranch got its start. I'm Dakota Livesay with Chronicle of the Old West.
Thanks, Dakota. For more information, visit fortheoldwest.com.